Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Avowed with me, BringItDon, and Kai. Also, I noticed all these claw marks on the door. Alright, let's check out Naku Tedek. And then we'll return to the city. Because it's come to my attention that I made a slight mistake. Plus the quest marker takes us back there anyway.
Older than Fior itself.
Oh, that's okay. Out with the old and in with the new. Maxim Vidaro. Husband, father, visionary without equal. He gave us a new beginning, a new land, a new purpose, and asked for nothing in return. Your Iverno is his legacy and our responsibility. Wherever he rests, may he rest in peace. Edward Roquesco. A true pioneer in the field of self-experimentation. After breaking his soul apart, he lost the knowledge of how to reassemble it again. May his greatest achievement never be replicated.
I said, watch where you're going, please. Did you just... Are you mad?
I was hoping that stun... Oh, I guess there's a little bit of AoE.
This give me the strength to do something
Alright. Dignity of the deceased. Life and death are cherished in Emerald Stair, nowhere more so than Naku Tedek. These ruins are a passage for souls to return to the cradle of the living lands. Acolytes of Bareth are expected to maintain certain procedures when dealing with the dead or dying. Families are welcome to bear witness or contribute to their level of comfort. Bathing. Treat the remains with clean water and scented oils. Wrapping. We leave life as we came into it, comfortably swaddled. Passage. The remains are given 3 days to rest by the Adra Pillar. This should allow ample time for the soul to find its way. Contemplation. Families and acolytes are welcome to meditate while observing decomposition and the pursuit of closure and acceptance. Burial. The remains are taken from Naku Tedek and returned to the soil. Many of these rituals predate our settlement of Emerald Stair. Naku Tedek is no stranger to the passage of souls, and we expect the transition to the next life to be one of ease and relief to everyone involved. Vanessa Pastor. The first Animancer to successfully travel into the afterlife. If only she could have survived the journey back. Excuse me. Nameless Dreamthorl. We found you in winter, frozen to the ground. Dreaming but not asleep. May you find true rest. Arter and Cordelia Castell. Beloved parents, Animancers, and givers to the community. Punished for burning the wick at both ends. Someone has scratched a message onto the plaque. I miss you. Victims of Belderano Pass. To the 20 Valiant settlers who perished at the incident at Belderano Pass, we pray your souls escape the mountain that buried you, the chill that froze you, and the madness that twisted you. Well, hopefully defeating that blight helped them find peace. I see, plants below us, and on this level. Might be a quest for this later. It might be tied to Jada, based on this.
Please, my friend. You can take what you want from the shrine. Just don't break anything.
Oopsies. I wasn't going to rob you.
So he was working alone. Forgive me. These are difficult times for a man of faith. While I was at prayer, a bandit held a knife to my throat and stole the reliquary of Saint Widwin. Just look at me. Gods, I'm still shaking.
I read that Widwin was Aethys' vessel during the Saints' War. Is that right?
He was. The war ended years ago, yet still the scars remain. Maybe the gods have abandoned the living lands. Or maybe they've abandoned me.
Or they want to watch us fix things on our own.
You'll pardon me if I don't find that encouraging. He fled west into the wilderness. There's nothing there but a Delumgan glade. If you find him, please, no more bloodshed. Vengeance will not make this right.
What's an Aethasian priest doing out here anyway?
Most of my faithful brethren became acolytes of Berith. But she is not the only god who embodies the cycle of life. This is where souls return to the living lands. Can't you feel it?
Not really, but I trust you.
No two of us experience belief the same way. That's what makes it so wonderful. May the light shine on you. May it shine on the thief as well. I will try to understand his motives.
A saint's relic? Where would you even fence something like that?
People who mean no malice generally don't go into banditry.
I pray you come to no harm.
Alright, next step, return to Fior Mess Iverno. And try to speak to this Monto fellow. And turn in a bounty.
Welcome back. You are here to collect a bounty, huh?
I have a bounty to claim.
Whose death am I recording?
I put Belderano to rest.
From the depths of my soul, I thank you. May their poor souls find peace in their rest. Perfetto. Return when you have more to claim.
Alright. Go find Monto.
Yeah.
So previously,
Ado, welcome to my finest
on Dragon Ball Z,
Welcome back. Care to take a look around?
I'm Valiant. It's the principle of the thing.
What's that say?
Welcome back. Care to take a look around?
Showstar Medal. What can you tell me about this medal?
Is that
You know what I mean.
Gelarde? This is star metal. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well.
Can you do anything with it?
No. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchant it. Lodestone is actually made of star metal, you know. It was brought to me by a trader from Galawain's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you're looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Galawain's tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff.
I'll take that bet.
And I'll take your money, eventually.
Is there anything else I can help you with, amico?
Also, I was just to break that down.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
So previously I ran up to this door. I don't know, I was probably looking at the time on my phone to see how long the episode had been. I just saw the X pop up and I looked away and walked away. Assuming it said exit Emerald Stair. Oh goodness. Actually, after this, we have to go back to the temple anyway. Tides and Moons, a natural historian's account. We've all heard the legends of Andra and Sen Bilafa, an explanation that the goddess's love for the moon causes the tides. As men and women of science, we know this to be but a shadow of truth. Yet there is another myth that we have been quicker to dismiss, and I wonder if it does not merit further examination. Andrites tell of a smaller moon, Eani Brother, that the goddess supposedly pulled from the sky in an earlier age. While such a thing seems impossible, Eani Brother still roams the skies above. It is true that explorers in the far reaches have found mineral fragments that do not naturally occur on any known continent in Eora. Furthermore, naturalists in Adir, Rawatai, and the Deerwood have observed the remains of ancient ocean life many miles inland. Such a thing would only be possible if Eora's oceans had once been larger or, as I here propose, if a catastrophic flood had once washed over the continents. While few phenomena could cause a flood of this magnitude, a large body falling into the seas just might do the trick. In these pages, I'll explain how some force of nature, if not an amorous god, could have pulled a small moon into Eora millennia ago. I know that's actually the case because we saw Abaddon's body that he had used to block the moon from crashing into the planet. Forget-me-not tonic. Instructions for use. Take 1 cupful approximately 1 hour before beginning tedious activity. If administered correctly, time should appear to pass more quickly and tasks should feel more tolerable. Side effects may include amnesia surrounding the dosage period.
I have to do something. I can't let anyone else discover this.
Alright, Monsters of the Deadfire Archipelago. The archipelago winds its way between the Great Eastern Ocean and the Restless Ocean, hundreds of small islands in the midst of the water. If you dare brave its treacherous rapids, a few still have returned to tell tale of their adventures through it. Travel between the two oceans is virtually impossible. Great storms hammer any ships foolhardy enough to attempt to navigate, and this alone should be enough to deter anyone from attempting the voyage as untold ships have gone down, tossed against the rocks. The weather and treacherous rocks are only a precursor to the actual horror of the archipelago, the terrors of the deep. No one knows how many creatures stalk the oceans, waiting for unsuspecting sailors to drift into their waters. But we do know of some. Barbed Ravager. A giant shark that is known to ram passing vessels, trying to knock sailors off the deck and smash a hole in the hull. It has tremendous spines protruding from its side and back that are presumed to be poisonous. The largest sided Barbed Ravager, with survivors, was estimated to be almost 30 feet long. Winding Serpent. Smaller around than the Ravager, but potentially longer, the Winding Serpent attacks in small packs, usually 3 to 8. They have long sharp heads, somewhat reminiscent of a barracuda. Like the Ravager, they repeatedly slam into the side of a ship, hoping to crack a hole in it or knock someone from the deck. They've also been known to swim to the depths and shoot up out of the ocean, landing on the deck, coiling and winding their way around, snapping up any crew they can before plunging back into the ocean. Leviathan. Imagine the largest whale you have ever seen. The Leviathan is at least 10 times that size. By the time a ship sees a Leviathan, it is already too late. As they rise from the depths, the water around them begins to spin and sink, creating a whirlpool. The Leviathan's body surrounds a hapless vessel, preventing escape, and as it goes down, the enormous mouth opens, pulling all aboard to their watery deaths. Pulpavir. All the creatures you've read about in this book are nothing compared to the Pulpavir. Barely the size of a man, but they lack in size and strength, they make up for in numbers and terrifying viciousness. Their lower halves are a mass of tentacles like an octopus or squid, but more numerous. The tentacles are long, black whips with suction cups on the underside, and small thorny barbs on the top. The sheer number of tentacles gives them frightening speed when walking on land, pulling themselves forward almost as fast as a running horse. While they vaguely resemble a human from the waist up, any extended examination proves how wrong that assumption is. Long stringy black hair falls from the top of their heads to cover a face taken directly from a nightmare. A wide gaping mouth cuts across the bottom of its head from ear to ear, full of wicked dagger-like teeth. Two large round eyes are sunken into its head, black as coal, shining with a malevolent fire. A small antenna protrudes in the middle of its forehead, ending in a small nodule that can glow with an eerie blue light. One can imagine a sailor on the deck of his ship at night, looking out across the black water, blood freezing as countless lights appear beneath the surface, rising toward him as the Pulpavir swarm upward. Because they seem to be more octopus than man, they can collapse in on themselves, fitting into spaces no person should be able to. The smallest crack in a hole, the slightest separation between boards offers them entrance. It is not unknown for them to slaughter an entire crew from hold up to deck, by infiltrating the ship from underneath. Fortunately, they do not seem to have spread too far outside the archipelago, but there may come a day when Pulpavir attacks become more commonplace. A rejection of so-called ethics by Monto Pastor. Animancy is a magnet for naysayers who cherish ignorance over progress and safety over opportunity. I do not deny that our art has produced some misfortune over the years. Bellreach, Brackenbury, and the event at the Castle House, to name a few. Why should these isolated incidents cast such a long shadow? When a ship sinks to the bottom of the ocean, no one forces merchants to abandon their trade. I say that we resist society's unjust call to smash our machines and burn our research. We are Animancers. Society is welcome to join us, but we won't hesitate to leave them in our dust. Summit meeting notes on the Deadfire event 2829 AI. Topic: Spiritual disturbance in the Deadfire archipelago. Governor Nazi Vidaro presiding. All agree that a disturbance shook the metaphysical veil between the here and the beyond. Ask about capitalization. Cause of a disturbance unknown. Experiment gone wrong. Rumor of giant Adra statue dismissed as mass hallucination. Pere Quilici requests a contact Republic's associates for a second opinion. Governor Vidaro denies the motion. Verdict: results inconclusive. No action required at this time.
Envoy. I'm sorry. I'm not in a place to talk right now.
You look exhausted. When was the last time you slept?
I'm not concerned with that. Not now. Yesterday, I made an incredible discovery. We can use half as much Adra to achieve the same results. And then I thought, what if one day it's a third, a quarter, a speck?
Wouldn't that be a good thing?
No. To harness these forces for so small a price is too much power. Who knows what kind of chaos we'll create? I have been reading Athelmir's treatise on Wotica. Perhaps she's right. Maybe Animancy should be reined in.
We can't fear knowledge just because a few people might abuse it. So, obviously there's a counter-argument to that. If the knowledge that those few people use destroys everything, then obviously, you know, there may be a limitation to that. I do think that knowledge should be unrestrained and flow freely. But, there are some bad apples out there. But anyway, we can't fear knowledge just because a few people might abuse it.
How can I? Alright. I'll do some more tests and see where they lead me. But I won't publish anything until I'm absolutely sure. I hope I'm right. I shudder to think what will happen if I'm not.
The Adra is healthy. It's the essence I'm concerned about.
This again. You're beginning to sound like Yata.
Have you ever stopped and listened to her? She might be onto something.
I'm sure her mother and father were onto something, and look what happened to them.
Recent history of Queen's birth, the rival of the Valians. Excerpted from a letter by Winge Warwick, a Huana historian, from a collection of her personal writings. The Valians' arrival in Nekataka was not unexpected. Our fisherfolk had watched them lurk near the edges of our territory for months, the ships like the keen eyes of a jeweler, inspecting us, already counted the coin they'd make on a prize so fine as the Deadfire. They're not the first to watch us so. Doubtless they would not be the last. We were not certain what it was they wanted, at first, aside from whatever it was we had. When Onikaza sent an envoy of Mataru to speak with them, they made noise about desiring trade and cultural exchange. What exactly it was they intended to trade, or what manner of cultural exchange they thought might entice us, wasn't immediately clear. We were not naive. We knew their arrival spelled change for the Deadfire as surely as we know that rain falls in the monsoon season. The trouble came in how we would manage the Valian's influence, how we would contain it. Better they think us partners than easy marks, but thinking at the palace one at the time. We cannot risk war with them, as fractured a people as we are, and have any hope of winning it, no matter the power of our water shapers. As the leader of the Kahanga, Onikaza decided for us to allow the Valians to set down roots in Queen's birth and begin limited mining operations in the archipelago. She suggested this might ease trade and tensions between our people and theirs, but in truth, I believe she only wanted to keep an eye on them. I sympathize with her point of view, but I cannot endorse it, because Onikaza forgot the truth of roots, that they are the silent, grasping hands of trees, that a tree once established cannot be moved without destroying the ground around it. But it was done. The Valians quickly made themselves at home. The ensuing conflict over who had rights to which islands, which Andra veins, which trading routes that only served to fracture the Huana further. Then the Rowatines arrived. By that point, it was too late. The colonials were in the Deadfire to stay. Now Huana refugees flood into Nekataka from across the archipelago, complaining of lost land and dwindling resources, and the trading companies fight a quiet war against each other with our doorsteps as the front. And Gati got us in this trying time. Jack Cuomo's invitation. My colleagues, friends, and naysayers, you're hereby invited to a demonstration of my latest achievement, that of spiritual self-combustion. Bear witness as I set fire to my very essence merely to prove that I can. Do you doubt me? Then come watch me fail. Do you trust me? Then come watch me go out in a blaze of glory. Either way, you will be entertained. I anticipate a large and captive audience. Giacomo Feluccio. Was it tongue-tied?
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop.
This place is hardly modest. It's incredible.
Well, maybe to you, but I was educated in the great laboratories of Spirento, in the halls of experimentation. But you didn't journey all this way to hear me reminisce about the old country.
Esperanto. We've already read this. Explain for a curious outsider. How does animancy work anyway?
What a question! If I were to answer in full, we'd be here for several decades. In short, we Animancers study essence, soul matter, if you will. Nearly everything has some essence, including you and I. Here in Emerald Stair, we use essence to enhance the crops, power our machines, even animate corpses. That is a preliminary explanation, but one that should serve, I hope.
What do you know about metaphysical anomalies in the living lands?
More than most, but less than I would like. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked.
Maybe I could help you fix it.
Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source.
A battery of grimoires.
Grimoires can hold intense power, but not for long. Besides, grimoires require a wizard to draw in essence. It's too dangerous at this scale. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove.
How does that help?
An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgon queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgon in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgon queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards.
I'll see what I can do.
Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days. Come back when you have the heart.
Okay. Maybe to talk about him, little, read quote. Sorry, got distracted by my cat. Forgot what I was saying. Ah, the moons of Eora. Look up into the night sky and you'll see the moon Balafa. Ubiquitous and persistent. It remains forever in view but also forever out of reach. What many people do not know, however, is that our world is actually orbited by two moons. Balafa and Caldwa? Or Calda? Balafa. Hanging low and large in the sky, Balafa travels swiftly in her race around the world, completing an orbit in about 18 days. This proximity and speed can cause extreme tide conditions in some areas, making the seas shift so quickly and rise so high that there are some beautiful coastal areas that are virtually uninhabitable for a good portion of the year. Before we learned the truth behind the cause of the tides, legend held that Andra, the goddess of the sea, was in love with the moon, and when she saw in the sky, the tides, great waves, and violent storms that happened were her attempts to reach it. This is why the moon is formally called Sen Balafa, or Andra Balafa, the beloved or Andra's beloved. Calda. 315 years ago, the Grand Empire of Valia suffered from terrible storms and terrifyingly high and low tides. Records show the same thing was happening in the Adir Empire, and that several new Adiran colonies along the Deerwood coast were completely destroyed by storms and high tides that engulfed the settlements. At that time, during an eclipse, Glenfathan astronomers spotted something small orbiting near the edge of Balafa. After much study, they realized it was a small satellite with an extremely irregular orbit. They called it Calda Deb, or the Black Runner. Since it is smaller than Balafa, it doesn't have much effect on the world. When it aligns with Balafa's orbit, it wreaks havoc on the tides and weather everywhere. This happens with an erratic frequency and severity, and have been dubbed Lover's Tides. Calda has been rolled into the Andra myth, and when they are both in sight, her desire to reach them is increased tenfold, which is what causes the terrible weather.
What do you think of Jata's theory?
Well, my experiments have been a little...
unpredictable. Like, the essence has no sense of direction.
How did you know?
We should talk, but not here.
Oh gosh. The main pitfalls of imp husbandry. The book narrates one scholar's dissection of all matters relating to the care of household imps, focusing notably on their cleaning and housebreaking. One passage has been underlined with the deep press of a quill. Never allow imps to learn spells or wield artifacts of power. Their bodies sponge up the essence remainder and grow exponentially larger in size. One of my household servants pilfered a ring from my collection and grew to the size of an aurochs before I had him properly drained. The glands also grow more pungent than more writing could hope to encompass, so beware. On the alchemy of imp spray. I kept a pair of imps caged for the better part of 3 decades as I scripted Volume 5 of my series, Scent Languages of the Perverse. Every day the duo would feel the air from their glands as they communicated across the distance. I grew to understand the alchemy of their spray by standing in its path and allowing the fetid effluvium to wash over me. Such wondrous effluvium, so potent, It hovers over me still. Just as I had written the last page of what was to be my greatest work, the dialect of their spray changed entirely, rendering my findings useless. Oh, but how they laughed at my expense. I know the smell of failure. It is a reek of 30 years' worth of concentrated imp farts sprayed into one's face, and the bitterness of having no academic recognition to show for it. On the efficacy of imps. A time-worn adage among practitioners of the arcane arts avers that early wizards compelled imps to service not out of desire for the assistance, but to banish them from underfoot. I doubt it not at all. One could not conjure a more unruly, noisome, maladroit, or irascible aid. Why then do we employ these diminutive meddlers? Imps, dear reader, are to a wizard's sanctum as rats are to a ship. Without a malign instinct or pure mischievousness, they infiltrate our laboratories with alarming regularity. Nenagauth conjectures in his sensitivity of simpletons, the imps infest any locus of concentrated mystical influence, and accounts of the creatures lurking among the uninhabited ruins of Engwith seem to corroborate his supposition. Yet a wizard's domicile seems to possess a particular appeal to them, regardless of whether it resides at a nexus of spiritual power or no. Left to their own devices, the winged miscreants accrue loose baubles, hoarding them in filthy dens as often as not established in our cupboards and privies. Seemingly possessed of an antiquity dealer's discernment, each prefers to pilfer the most valuable paraphernalia and potent artifacts, yet they remain pathetically inept in the use of even the simplest gewgaw. I admit the imp's general incompetence makes them appealing retainers. One of the little cretins may displace a favored wand of elemental power. A little peril exists of it activating the instrument and immolating your collected volumes of arcana. The same cannot be said of apprentices. Yet the beasts present a danger to the unwary, for they possess a low cunning not unlike that of Zarops and Orlans. Without a domineering hand to direct them, imps rapidly regress to their base instincts. As a result of their propensity for pack behavior, even transitory leniency with a single imp can imperil a wizard's entire collection. A little bit of racism in that writing, which I think is a nice touch, not because I agree with it, but because it shows a bias in the author's work. And almost every work has a bias to it. Alright, so we have a quest. Somewhere. All the way over there. I want to go back over here, and I want to see if I can interact with the Audra pillar that's inside this temple. We may not be able to yet. It might have to wait until we can do the quest that's assumably associated with this area. I see enemies in there too. Yeah, we'll definitely be back here. Oh man, I almost got knocked off the side there. Alright, well I'm going to call it here. Next time we will descend and cross the river and explore that side. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.